Trying to show that the Bible is an immoral guide for human beings, saying that the commands of genocide and slavery within the Bible are simply immoral. Therefore, the Bible is an immoral guide. They say that if God existed, he wouldn't be worthy of worship. The Christian God specifically. I agree that if God was commanding things against what we as humans say is objectively wrong, that God would not be worthy of any worship. However, does this narrative of the conquest and the genocide, so to speak, does it do what the atheist actually thinks it does? So let's look at a few passages and try to determine what these passages really are trying to say. First, there's many verbs that describe the purpose of what the conquest was. When looking carefully, the Hebrew words garash and yarash are a couple examples that have nothing to do with killing. These words simply mean to drive out. So right here, we can see the conquest was not only about taking life, but we still must raise questions about the verbs that are used for killing. And how do we reconcile those? Well, it's a little easier than some may have suggested. We do not have to take the radical view of what we've seen the past few days with William Lane Craig, who went on Alex O'Connor's podcast talking about his divine command theory. I am not supporting that view today. Where the verbs killing is used, it's always in this conquest account. It's always in reference to the Anakim, which is the Amorite Rephaim giant clans. This is a clear representation of Genesis chapter 6, getting us to the giants. To help you see this, let me read just a few passages that are in context of the conquest narrative. Numbers chapter 13, verses 28 and 29. It says, quote, "The people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. Besides, we saw the descendants of Anak there." Then, in verse 29, it tells us some more nations with the descendants that exist within the hill country. Other cities like Jericho, Lachish, Canaan, and the other ones were all in the hill country. Yahweh told Israel to kill, or harim is the Hebrew verb, the Anakim, the giants, whom are from the supernatural being list of Genesis chapter 6, as I mentioned. These beings planned on killing Israel, wiping them out. The Old Testament has a context. It's Yahweh versus the other gods. These gods were not like Yahweh. Yahweh is unique, and no other Elohim, no other god is like Elohim. Like Yahweh, I should say. There's no Elohim like Yahweh. So God knew to get rid of these specific giants because they were not mere humans. In fact, this is where the demons come from. The dead Nephilim, the spirit of a Nephilim, is what any ancient Israelite would have seen as a demon. And then the New Testament tells us that these demons exist in Tartarus, or hell. And they are locked in there to the days of judgment. They cannot get out. So, no, Yahweh did not tell Israel to commit genocide versus humans. Yahweh told Israel to wipe out Anakim, which can be certainly justified in the context of some kind of biblical narrative. Now, we can ponder about the legitimate ideas of this into the sense of, are these stories true? Now, that would be a different question. Is this more forktale, or is this more of an allegory to get us to understand some kind of deeper theological truth? Perhaps, but that's not the scope of this video. This video is just going over the idea, did God command human beings to commit genocide against other human beings? And to answer that, the answer would simply be no. To go deeper into this idea, we can even see more examples of this. You see in Joshua 2, Joshua 11, Joshua chapter 6 through 8. This is why Joshua ends his summary of the conquest with, "There are no more Anakim in the land." He does not say, "There are no more people in the land," because people were not his goal. It was the Anakim. When Yahweh started this with Moses, within the first few books of the Bible. So, the conquest is merely a theological story deriving from Genesis 6. So God did not command any type of genocide. This is the gods, the Elohim, that rebelled against Yahweh. And Yahweh is in war with them because they want to destroy Israel, since Yahweh was God of Israel. They wanted to ruin the bloodline to the messianic figure that Yahweh promises throughout the entire Old Testament. This story goes back to the flood story. It goes back to the Apkallu story. And all of these things that exist in any type of Mesopotamian literature. This is not unique to the Bible whatsoever. So, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think down below. And comment and like. Thank you.